10 Ways to Get Rich. What better person to tell you how to become wealthy than one whose name is a long-term fixture on the Forbes list? Here are Warren's tips on how to get rich, put together by Alice Schroeder. 1. Reinvest your profits. When you first make money, you may be tempted to spend it. Don't. Instead, reinvest the profits. Warren Buffett learned this early on. In high school, he and a pal bought a pinball machine to pun in a barbershop. With the money they earned, they bought more machines until they had 8 in different shops. When the friends sold the venture, Warren Buffett used the proceeds to buy stocks and to start another small business. By age 26, he'd amassed $174,000 or $1.4 million in today's money. Even a small sum can turn into great wealth. 2. Be willing to be different. Don't base your decisions upon what everyone is saying or doing. When Warren Buffett began managing money in 1956 with $100,000 cobbled together from a handful of investors, he was dubbed an oddball. He worked in Omaha, not Wall Street, and he refused to tell his parents where he was putting their money. People predicted that he'd fail, but when he closed his partnership 14 years later, it was worth more than $100 million. Instead of following the crowd, he looked for undervalued investments and ended up vastly beating the market average every single year. To Warren Buffett, the average is just that, what everybody else is doing. To be above average, you need to measure yourself by what he calls the inner scorecard, judging yourself by your own standards and not the world's. 3. Never suck your thumb. Gather in advance any information you need to make a decision, and ask a friend or relative to make sure that you stick to a deadline. Warren Buffett prides himself on swiftly making up his mind and acting on it. He calls any unnecessary sitting and thinking thumb-sucking. When people offer him a business or an investment, he says, "I won't talk unless they bring me a price." He gives them an answer on the spot. 4. Spell out the deal before you start. Your bargaining leverage is always greatest before you begin a job. That's when you have something to offer that the other party wants. Warren Buffett learned this lesson the hard way as a kid, when his grandfather Ernest hired him and a friend to dig out the family grocery store after a blizzard. The boys spent 5 hours shoveling until they could barely straighten their frozen hands. Afterward, his grandfather gave the pair less than 90 cents to split. Warren Buffett was horrified that he performed such backbreaking work only to earn pennies an hour. Always nail down the specifics of a deal in advance, even with your friends and relatives. 5. Watch small expenses. Warren Buffett invests in businesses run by managers who obsess over the tiniest costs. He once acquired a company whose owner counted the sheets and rolls of 500-sheet toilet paper to see if he was being cheated. He was. He also admired a friend who painted only on the side of his office building that faced the road. Exercising vigilance over every expense can make your profits and your paycheck go much further. 6. Limit what you borrow. Living on credit cards and loans won't make you rich. Warren Buffett has never borrowed a significant amount, not to invest, not for a mortgage. He has gotten many heart-rendering letters from people who thought their borrowing was manageable but became overwhelmed by debt. His advice: negotiate with creditors to pay what you can. Then, when you're debt-free, work on saving some money that you can use to invest. 7. Be persistent. With tenacity and ingenuity, you can win against a more established competitor. Warren Buffett acquired the Nebraska Furniture Mart in 1983 because he liked the way its founder, Rose Blumkin, did business. A Russian immigrant, she built the mart from a pawnshop into the largest furniture store in North America. Her strategy was to undersell the big shots, and she was a merciless negotiator. To Warren Buffett, Rose embodied the unwavering courage that makes a winner out of an underdog. 8. Know when to quit. Once, when Warren Buffett was a teen, he went to the racetrack. He bet on a race and lost. To recoup his funds, he bet on another race. He lost again, leaving him with close to nothing. He felt sick. He had squandered nearly a week's earnings. Warren Buffett never repeated that mistake. Know when to walk away from a loss, and don't let anxiety fool you into trying again.